Good morning, guys. Thanks for listening to Coffee with Christ. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button below. Okay. All right. I'm titling this, We've All Been Burned. Do you smell like an old ashtray? All right. Because life's been rough for all of us. We all have that in common. We have all been burned. We have all had seasons that it feels like we're living a hell that's been turned up 7 times hotter, right? We all have that in common. And so did Daniel's friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Y'all know I've been in Daniel, and so chapter 4, go study it. It's good stuff. But this literally happened to them, right? You know, most of us aren't literally in a fire, but it feels like it. But for them, they were literally in a fire. So the king, I'm going to do a quick recap. The king built this statue, said, bow down to it. And they're like, nah, that ain't happening. Not doing it. And so he got mad and he's like, turn that furnace up 7 times hotter, and he threw them in it. Walking around, he sees 4 people in it instead of 3. Jesus was in there with them. And basically then they walked out. And when they walked out, in verse 27, it says, they saw these men on whose bodies the fire had no power over. The hair of their head was not singed, nor were their garments affected, and the smell of fire was not on them. They did not smell like an old ashtray. The question is, do you stink? I mean, we've all been around people, or we've been this person. In reality, we've all been this person. That like everyone around us knows that we stink. How do they know? Because they know we've been burned, because we're probably telling everybody about it. You know, how are we burned? Our life's problems. You know, I get it. We're wounded. So, you know, what we've went through has wounded us. And we pretty much, those people, you know that they're carrying this. They smell like fire. They were not like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because we all go through the fire. But what's the difference? What's the difference? Why in those seasons does everyone get around us and be like, know that we've been burned by life, right? So, yes, this happens to people who love Jesus. I mean, it's really easy to chalk it up to, oh, if you have Jesus, this never happens. Like, you know, because he's the 4th man in the fire. He's with you, you know, we're not going to do that. But in reality, as we walk out our life, Jesus is with us. So why do we, so the question is like, why are we smelling like fire? If we forget to look to Jesus in the fire, when we get out, we're going to smell like the fire. The power of the fire is going to affect us, right? We have to change our perspective when we're right in the middle of the burning fire, that's the hell that's 7 times hotter. We've got to realize that Jesus is there. Shift your perspective. Sometimes we go around wounded and burned and everybody knows it because we're offended that God allowed the fire. We're basically offended at God because we want to live a life that doesn't have any fire. That, you know, for some reason, maybe we've been taught that, we've got this image of that when we're with Christ, that we're not going to have to be in any fire. But the truth is, everybody goes through fire. Everybody goes through. But in Christ, the fire has no power because Jesus has destroyed the works of the devil. So you are capable of walking through the fire with Jesus, and then people are around you and they don't even know. They're like, you're telling your story, but you don't stink because you're telling your story in a different perspective. You're telling your story and glorifying God, saying Jesus was with me through it. Now I don't smell like smoke, right? So, or the third reason why some people are stinky is they set the fire that they were in, right? I mean, we have to address the fact that if we choose sinful actions, we set the fire, the hell that we're in. And so sometimes when that happens, obviously we're around, people are around us, we're around people, we know they've set the fire. They've made the choices. Okay, so if you find yourself anywhere in any of these scenarios, and you're like, I think I smell like a fall bonfire. If that's you, Jesus wants to wash that smell off of you. He wants to cleanse you. He wants to heal your wounds, and he wants you to come to him, right? Maybe this isn't the first time you've come to him. You're like, I am in Christ. I love Jesus. Come to him. He wants to heal your wounds. Maybe you need to forgive somebody. Maybe you're going around and sharing the same story because you need to forgive somebody. Let him help you. Let him help you. Let him help you forgive God. Maybe you're mad at God. Shift your perspective. Wherever you find yourself, come to Jesus today in this so that you can quit smelling like an old ashtray. I'm praying for you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.